This podcast will bring light to Hmong-owned businesses so that as consumers, we are confident to give them our business. And as businesses, we become a reliable and trustworthy source to our community. Now, in addition, this podcast serves as a platform to build awareness for Hmong entrepreneurs and businesses while being able to connect with Hmong people all over the world. Now, I see this as an amazing way to grow our Hmong community together and advance into the next era, where Hmong communities are supporting Hmong businesses and Hmong businesses are giving back to their community. Now, I'm excited to share with you the heartbeat of Hmong entrepreneurs, where I connect with Hmong businesses all over to learn more about who they are, what's their business, and how we can give them our support. But most importantly, it's about what makes their heart beat. So these are the people who are trailblazing the way in the world of business as a Hmong person, and this is how we can support each other in a growing and evolving community. As a wise man once said, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So let's get rocking. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Heartbeat of Hmong Entrepreneurs. My name is Josh. I'm your host, and today I'm super excited to meet a doctor on our show, the very first one, which is awesome. And something super interesting about her is that she's the only naturopathic doctor and acupuncturist locally in Hickory. So today we have Dr. Amy Lore with us.
Yeah.
Hey, Dr. Amy Lore, thank you for joining us. How are you?
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much. So tell us about you and what you do.
Yeah. So I'm a naturopathic doctor, acupuncturist, and Chinese herbalist. So we actually lived here in North Carolina before I went off to school in Washington State. That's where I got my degrees, my doctorate and my master's degree. And then I had a clinic over there, and then we moved back over here to be with family, and opened up the clinic here not too long ago. Well, it's been, since 2018. But yeah, so what I do is I'm a naturopathic doctor. So a lot of people who come and seek my care are those who are looking more for natural therapies, alternative therapies. Many of my patients are those who have been through the ring with their doctors, been through specialists, looking for things that are just more holistic, treating the whole person versus just addressing symptoms. I'd have to say probably, a good portion of my practice is more Chinese medicine related. So a lot of people do come in for acupuncture. It's like one of the best therapies out there to help with pain management. So a lot of inflammation and pain patients coming in to see me.
Okay, wow, that's a lot. Now, speaking of, it kind of triggered me when you said it's really more Chinese related, right? Influence, I guess, what you practice. Now, how do you feel about the Hmong practice? Like, how do you see that differ, or is the same, or just
what do you mean by the Hmong practice?
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of like herbal or tea, or I guess
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. So I will say, like, in terms of the natural approach, is definitely the same, right? We all as a Hmong person, like my grandma, seeing my grandma always like give herbs and stuff, my mother always doing herbs and stuff, trying to, I remember, what is that, mom? It's a root. Like, what is this root, right? Like, just drink it. So like we do things like that. Definitely we can do bulk herbs, which would be like the actual root or the leaves or the seeds and stuff like that. Or nowadays, because it's just more convenient, people like to do capsules, so we can encapsulate that, or into powder form, you just mix it with hot water and drink it as a tea. So definitely along those lines, definitely about the same thing. And I think also with the Hmong culture, like, we don't just treat the symptoms, right? So we always go deeper, and even we go into thinking about, could it be a spiritual aspect, right? Same thing with Chinese medicine. There's definitely spiritual aspect that we're also always addressing.
How did you get into this?
Yeah. So actually I had took the MCAT and was going to go to a traditional medical school. And I had a family member who had just finished his naturopathic doctorate degree in Washington, and he was telling me about that. So that's how I got started. I applied right away. It was the only school I applied to, took my chance, got in, and I started off with the doctorate program. So I did that for a couple of years. And then in the program, I was pregnant with my third child. I had really bad back pain. And that's when I went into acupuncture, like an acupuncture appointment, because the school had also that program as well. So I went into the appointment, got my treatment, and was just blown away by how much pain was reduced by just one treatment. So that just kind of blown me away. And I was like, I have to be able to like offer this to patients because it's so effective. And that's how I got into the acupuncture and Chinese medicine portion.
Oh, wow, wow, wow. Now, I've always heard of acupuncture before. Never actually did it myself. But I would imagine like how many patients have you done acupuncture on already?
Oh, I can't count.
Wow.
I can't count. Yeah, because I graduated back at 2000, February 2013. So it's been quite some time.
It has been. So
Yeah.
you definitely lost track of counting
Yes,
those.
I've lost track of counting. I will say there's a lot of fear around needles, right? So there's like, how does it feel? Am I gonna feel the pain? Is it gonna hurt? How should I dress coming in? Can I fall asleep? Should I not move? What if I'm itchy? Those kind of things. And it's a lot of times like our mind plays this out to be much more than what it really is. It really scares us. But many people who come in actually find it calming and relaxing. And acupuncture is actually really great to calm the nervous system, really great for those who have anxiety and stress. And so a lot of my patients actually fall asleep through their session. So I'll hear people snoring. So I know they're in a deep sleep.
Yes, it's kind of like having a massage, I guess, huh? But
And talking about massage, I do also do Tui Na, so that's Chinese massage.
oh, wow, wow.
Mhm.
Okay, so what is it all that you do then?
Okay, so as a traditional Chinese medical practitioner, we
Hmm.
have therapies such as acupuncture, which, as you know, involves the needle. Okay, then we have cupping, so that involves the glass cups. And
Hmm.
then there's Chinese medicine, as in herbs. Okay, Chinese herbal practice. There's gua sha, so you know, like as Hmong people, we do a form of gua sha as well. We use the spoon. You know, you're spooning.
I've never actually experienced that.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
No.
Well, we definitely do that. You know, like when you get sick, I don't know if your parents ever did it to you, but my parents definitely did it to me. Like when we get sick, they would hold us down when we were younger. They would hold us down and they would like scrape our arms, our head, our sides. They
Oh,
would do all that. And then they would, and this is something that, you know, really is helpful to bring down the fever right away is to prick the tips of your yeah, of your
have
fingertip.
that.
Chinese medicine, we do that as well. So you prick
What?
that, you get a drop of blood out, and it really brings down that high fever. And then I also do the Chinese massage,
Hmm.
and Chinese nutrition as well. So
Okay,
yeah,
so I'm thinking like, what about when they were when they boiled those eggs and then they like wrap it up in a little sheet and a silver coin?
yeah. So
Have you ever
that's
had that?
I have. My mom did that to me. That's we don't practice that in Chinese medicine, so I think that's
Okay.
probably something more Hmong related.
Okay, okay. 'Cause I was like,
Um,
oh, there's gotta be something related to that. But I was
yeah,
thinking the
because then it
spoon.
makes the coin really dark, right? So it's like pure
Yes.
something. Uh-huh.
Yes. Yeah, I know. That'd be interesting to learn more about that, like where that came from and
Mhm.
how that's supposed to kind of help work with the being sick. So, but that's interesting. Okay, and then what else?
So that's well, I recently just added facial rejuvenation services. So helping people who may have acne prone type skin or those who have more mature skin, so have like fine lines and wrinkles or dark spots, things like that. And then I also added a hair growth program. Actually, there's three different programs for the hair growth that people can sign up for, and it helps to stimulate dormant hair cells to grow again and also for you to have healthier, thicker hair.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Yeah, so
Uh,
those two are the probably the most recent addition into my practice.
Okay, okay. Now, how do you keep up with all of these?
You have to have a system, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow, wow. Now, I would imagine that your schedule is pretty full usually.
Well, I'm actually part-time, so
Oh, okay.
and I think it really helps me because well, I
Mhm.
could go full-time, but I choose not to. I still
Right.
have two little ones at home, and so I, have to juggle my time being a mom, being an entrepreneur, and also have some my 14-year-old who's also homeschooled. So, there's some juggling that has to happen there, and then my sanity, right? So,
Yes.
I think full time will be in the future when my two little ones are older.
Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. So you're doing all that. You went to school, and then during school you got into the experience, the acupuncture, and then you went into that, right?
Yes, yes.
And then once you got out, you came back to North Carolina. Now, why move back to North Carolina?
Because this is kind of where we started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is kind of where we started. So I've always wanted to kind of move back over here, and I have family back over here too.
Mhm.
I have two sisters, one in Newton and one in Conover. It was quite difficult being in Washington, where because we were like in the Seattle area, kind of
Mhm.
the outskirts of Seattle, and there's Hmong people there, but it's different because it's kind of like distant relatives, right?
Right,
So
right.
you kind of like have your kids grow up not knowing their aunties and their uncles or who their grandma grandpa is and things like that. So wanted to move back closer to family so that we can have that niche, like being together.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was pretty lonely. Holidays were lonely, birthdays were
Wow.
lonely. So we love being back here, and now they know their aunties and uncles, and they're just thrilled.
Wow, that's awesome. That's great. Well, we're glad you came back in North Carolina
Thank you.
and always stayed in that area, right? Have since you guys came back.
Yeah, we were in Burke County when we uh, moved, and
Mhm.
then we came back. But we're in Hickory, so not too far from Burke County.
Gotcha. Now, what part of what you do, well, what do you love most about what you do?
I think what I love most about what I do is being able to provide people with hope. So basically, a lot of those who come to me are those who are, I'm like their last stop doc, right?
Yeah.
So
Which
it's like
should be maybe the first.
and I think I hope things are kind of moving towards that way, but
Right.
even though like in Washington there, here too, there's the opioid epidemic, right? There's
Mhm.
a lot of not just street drugs, but also pharmaceutical medication use that are just wrongly prescribed, and people get addicted, and as acupuncturists should always be the first line of help for them. But I don't think many primary care doctors or specialists think about us. At
Mhm.
least definitely not in North Carolina. It's more open out in Washington State. And so in Washington State, I actually practice as a naturopathic doctor. We can practice as a primary care physician. So I was a primary care physician in Washington State. And so like patients who come to see me, I also use acupuncture to help them. But here in North Carolina, there's no licensure for naturopathic physicians. So what I do is naturopathic health coaching, and then majority of my practice is Chinese medicine. So I love being able to instill hope in people that just because you've been through so many doctors and specialists, or, and they're not able to give you an answer, it doesn't mean that I can't give you an answer. And the beautiful thing about Chinese medicine is that we use a whole different system of diagnosis to help you. Okay, so I don't need you to have had imaging or for you to have had blood work. Just like the Hmong people have a different way to help other people when they're sick, like we have our own way. We don't need you to go to the doctor to get imaging or blood work. Like I can look at your tongue and I can feel your pulse and I can look at how you look.
Mhm.
and from what you tell me, and put together a diagnosis for you. And based on that diagnosis, I can put together a plan of, okay, we're going to do these points, these acupuncture points for you, or we're going to do Chinese massage, or these herbs or formula are most indicated for what's going on.
Right, right. Because there's so many like indicators. Obviously, before medicine was a thing, I think that's what Chinese medicine was really. And everyone based it on indicators, on
Yeah,
fluctuations of your body somehow, somewhere.
exactly, exactly. And so, medicine has gone back quite some ways, like it did not depend on x-rays or CTs or
Right.
you need to run your blood before we can do this on you, so yeah, like you said, absolutely, lots of indicators, lots of things pointing towards, is it this or is it that.
Right, right. Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. Now, did you have to go to school like separately to do like the Chinese medicine, be focused
Yes.
on
Yes.
specific?
Luckily, the school that I went to, Bastyr University, they had a doctorate program for the naturopathic medicine and then a master's program and doctorate program for Chinese medicine. So you could actually choose to go into just the acupuncture program or the Oriental medicine program, which is acupuncture plus Chinese herbs, which is what I did.
Oh, okay. Okay, gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha. And that was for how long again?
Oh my goodness. So I did the naturopathic medicine program for 5 years, and then 2 years into that program, I started the Oriental medicine program. So it took me about 5.5 years to finish total.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes. I mean, if I was thinking about going back to school, 5 years more of schooling, I was like, oh,
I couldn't do it
ready.
now. I don't know how I did it.
Yes. Oh, geez. What was your drive?
Oh my God. I think my biggest drive was being able to help people, being
Yeah.
able to let others know that there is help. Don't feel like there is nothing else in the world that can help you, because honestly, sometimes we feel like we've tried everything, but you haven't tried everything. And
Yeah.
so I think that was my drive, is to be able to let people know about this medicine.
Right, right. Absolutely, absolutely. That's 100% sure. I mean, I'm hoping that, like this world of us, like we start to turn more towards like the holistic, like the natural way of doing things and figuring out how things work or treating like our illnesses. Obviously, there's some things that we can't really treat, like I don't know, cancer. I don't know. Maybe cancer with no natural products or whatever, but something like headaches or liver infections or whatever.
Yeah. And that's the beautiful thing, is like I like to be able to teach my patients how to, like, what to look for and how to take care of yourself. So for example, something simple like, someone coming, I have the longest patient, a someone who came in initially because every winter she's guaranteed to have bronchitis, right? So
Yeah.
and it's like been ongoing like for many years. And so she met up with me and she's like, I just have to like figure out what is going on with my immune system. Why is it so weak? Like someone sneezes and I catch a cold, and then I stay sick for so long. Every winter it's guaranteed she is sick. Well, since she's been seeing me, she has not had bronchitis. And
Wow.
she's been seeing me for many years, and since I've opened. And when she knows like, oh, I'm going to be around people who are sick, she does what she needs to do to be preventive. When she feels like she is actually at an early stage of being sick, she knows what she needs to do to help her body, to stimulate her immune system, to kick out this sickness, the bugs. So that's what I love, is being able to teach my patients, like, in this situation, like, you have all the tools, like, this, you just have to implement it, right? So
Right.
I love being able to teach my patients those things.
Wow, that's awesome. So tell us more about the different type of like treatments that you've been treating lately.
Yeah, yeah, like the different conditions.
Conditions, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So a lot of people, like I said earlier, come in for inflammation and pain. There's a lot of low back pain, right? So there's a lot of low back pain. But other than that, like, I have people coming in for insomnia. So insomnia is a big one.
Yeah.
Anxiety and stress, hormonal imbalances, fertility. I've always kind of wanted to focus on fertility, but you don't choose your patients choose you. So
Right.
I've never had, my practice grilled like towards fertility, but I do have some fertility patients. Immune system support, um, degenerative joint disease, um, and more recently, more of the facial rejuvenation and hair growth patients.
Okay. Wow. Wow. That's a huge range of
Yeah.
different like conditions and things like that. Now, how long does someone typically wait before they get to you, kind of thing?
It's fairly fast. So
Oh,
because
really?
yeah, because I am part-time, like the beautiful thing about being your own boss is
Mhm.
you have your own schedule, right? So
Right.
so
Right.
if someone's like very urgent, they need to get in, I can open up my schedule and be like, you know what, today's it's not that busy. I could fit in another patient or something. So like
Right.
they can get in fairly quick. So what I do is I have a two-step pre-screening process for potential clients who want to work with me. And the reason being why I do the pre-screening is because um, I want to make sure that I'm a good fit for you, that what set of conditions you have or what type of health goals you have for yourself, that I'm able to help you reach those goals. And two, um, it's costly, right? So I want to make sure I'm not wasting your money. So we go through the pre-screening process, and those who get selected, then I ask the question, do you still want to work with me? And if they do, then we come together and do a case review. And that's where we review everything about the totality of their health, how they got to where they are now. But that first appointment usually is booked within 1 week of when they first submit their step one pre-screening forms.
Okay, gotcha. So a lot does kind of go into this because you really do need to understand who they are, what what they're facing with and what they're coming in with and all the good stuff before you can really give them a really thorough like overview of
Yeah.
what the treatment plan may be.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And I think that when I come about it that way, it's actually more therapeutic for them because they understand like step by step, like we've gone through this case review now. Now I give them this action plan, step by step. This is what they need to do to be able to reach those goals. And of course, everyone has hiccups. Everyone reaches goals different at different times at different rates, but I always ask for open communication because that's the only way we're going to be able to work together is open communication so that I can facilitate your process through this healing journey.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, do you do all your treatments there or most of
Yes.
yes? Okay.
Yes, all treatments are done in office here. I have just one room, and this is, I stay in here while my patients are getting treated. Most of the time, it ends up being kind of counseling, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
because they're on the table. If they're not sleeping, they're talking, and we're conversing and stuff. So, it's very therapeutic for them.
Wow, that's awesome. You're charging for therapy too, right?
All included.
That's an extra. That's an extra. That's free.
That's your bonus.
That's awesome. Awesome. So yeah, I see you are in your office, correct?
I am in my office. Yes.
Sweet. Would you mind giving us a tour?
Okay. Yeah. So I am. Let's see here. So when you walk in, okay, so that's actually, it's too bright, but that's the entrance there. You walk
Awesome.
up the hallway, and this is the entrance into my door. Okay. So
Sweet.
I'm holding my laptop, so it's kind of hard, but
Okay,
yeah,
yeah, no
you walk
worries.
in here, and this is our heat lamp. So it keeps your body nice and cozy and warm. And then
Mm.
this is also a heated table as well. So when you're on the table, a lot of people like to be warm. So I do have that as well. Um, and then I have some of my herbs up here, and this is my infrared light. So this is my infrared light machine. I love this machine. It has 7 different wavelengths, which correlates with 7 different colors. Very therapeutic. And
Tell me more about that. The different wavelengths
yeah,
and all that. Yeah, what is that? What's that?
Yeah. So that actually, so you probably heard of like red light therapy.
Yes, I've heard of it, but
So
not know exactly what that is.
yeah. So red light therapy helps a lot with decreasing inflammation and increasing your mitochondria to work better. Mitochondria is like your cellular energy powerhouse.
Yes.
Hmm.
I remember back from, I don't know when, high school.
Yeah. So like in anatomy or physiology class.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's red light, green light, white light, teal light, yellow light, um, dark blue light, and purple light. Okay, so all those lights, some of them have actions that are similar, and some of them have actions that are totally only related to that specific color or wavelength. Okay, so
Okay.
like for example, I put all of my patients through red light because it helps decrease inflammation, right? And it helps boost energy. And then some of my patients who are doing the facial rejuvenation services, I use green light because green light actually helps to decrease the melanin production for those who have dark spots. And
Oh,
then white light for those who have mood irregulation. So, like ups and down in their moods, the anxiety, depression, stress, irritability, or also it also helps with your immune system to boost your immune system. So I really love the light therapy.
now, are there certain parts of the body parts where you actually have these therapy like go on, like
Yes,
the face?
yeah. So most of the time I keep it here up in
Okay.
the head region. We do have goggles that cover the eyes, and you just keep your eyes closed the whole time. Or if there is a specific body part that is having some issues, for example, if someone came in with pneumonia or like bronchitis or like difficulty breathing, shortness of breath, like I would hold the put the light over their chest.
Oh,
So it's
with,
definitely one that you can move around.
yeah, with like for that, what kind of light would you use?
I would use probably the red and the white.
Oh, wow.
Mhm.
Wow. Now, how long are these like treatments usually?
Well, the red light, I mean, the light therapy itself, about 10 minutes per light.
Okay.
Mhm. Acupuncture itself, about 40 minutes.
Okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Now, what about the face rejuvenation?
The facial rejuvenation, those are kind of more involved. So those are about an hour and 15-minute services.
Okay. Now, are your services based on the time frame or is it based on the service?
Based on the service.
Okay.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Now, let's say for example, you got the light, the infrared light, or is it infrared?
Yes.
It's infrared, right? It's
Yeah.
infrared. The light treatments, but then they can like book it with other treatments as well too, or
Oh
how does
yeah,
it
yeah,
work?
definitely. Yeah, definitely. So we can always do like combination things for sure.
Okay, gotcha,
Mhm.
gotcha. Now, what would you say is the most ideal?
Oh, I want to correct myself. It was actually I said infrared. My lamp over there is infrared. The color one is LED. Sorry.
LED?
I
Okay,
changed that.
okay,
LED
gotcha.
light. Yes.
All right, yeah, I would not even know the difference.
What were you
Okay,
saying?
gotcha, gotcha. So I was saying, like I guess for typically a patient who would like a specific outcome, like let's say for example they want clearer skin, right?
Mhm.
That's the final outcome they want. Are there typically like different type of services that come with that in order to achieve it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that with there's micro needling.
Mhm.
So I don't know if I don't know how familiar you are with with these services. So micro needling, I use a pen. It's a pen that once I press that, it turns on. That's the fast rate, and there's different speeds it can go, but that's the fastest one, and it should be on the fast one, highest
Okay.
RPM, and that's the actual needle head that attaches into the top here. But yeah, so using microneedling once a month for the face can help vent the heat. So a lot of people who have acne type skin have, like red, angry type of pimples, right? Or
Mhm.
someone that are deeper. And so what the needles does is it's penetrating through the skin to help vent that heat. And when you are able to vent the heat, the pimples are, they decrease and you get better.
Okay.
There's also another service. So there's nano needle, and I hate the word nano needle because it's actually not needles, but it is nano needle using the same pen, but a different tip. And this is kind of more, it's not needle at all. More, I guess you could think about it like sandpaper, but softer, softer than the typical sandpaper you think about.
Okay.
And we use that on the skin as well, in between micro needling treatments, because it helps to penetrate the topical products deeper into your skin cells for healing.
Oh wow. So it's a combination of microneedling and then applying like
Topicals.
topical things in order for your skin to absorb what's already been, so because you created a pathway in the skin for those to get there. And so
Exactly.
what you
You're absolutely right. So we created like these micro channels, right?
right.
And so now you want to make sure like the products aren't just sitting on the top layer. You want to make sure it's going down deep to where it needs to be. So that's when you use a nano needle to drive it down deeper. And then I also do like cosmetic acupuncture, where you actually use acupuncture needles, individual needles, on certain parts of the face to make it more clear as well. Gua sha is also a really great one. I know earlier you said you weren't familiar with gua sha, but there's a gua sha roller. You've probably seen ads of like women doing rolling on their face. This tool, this little tool.
Nope. I've
You have not.
never seen it.
Okay, well, there's this, or there is an actual, and I don't have it here with me, but there's an actual kind of like a oh, what do you call it? A stone blade or something like that, but it's not sharp. And there's different ways that you can do gua sha, and it's basically to stimulate blood flow to the area, bring nutrients to the area, also decrease swelling, right? So if you don't have tools like this, you absolutely don't need it. You can use your fingers. You can do things like this to really move the lymph and to help clear the skin. So there's different techniques that you can do.
Right, right. Based on movements and I guess
Exactly.
specific portions and areas of your face
Yes,
or
exactly.
muscles or whatever you want to call them.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Wow. There's a lot to this. I mean, that's a lot of knowledge. Like,
It is. And that's why we do the continuing education courses, to keep up with
yes.
these things.
Holy crap. Wow, that's so much like interesting, very interesting. I mean, that's a whole lot of knowledge. I mean, like so I have a background in medical as a medical professional. So I was a surgical technologist too.
Uh-huh,
And I worked with a lot of surgeons and doctors and stuff, and
uh-huh.
just the knowledge and the intensity of like things they know like in depth, especially like the super like specialized one, whether it be in like neurosurgery or like
Yeah,
orthopedic or whatever. It's just like how do like all these years of learning, of course, they know so much and so many minute little things about it. And that's the beauty of going to someone like you who's a specialist, and you're specialized in these very specific things because you trained in it, you've known so much about it, and there's such and the ins and out of it that, let's say somebody don't want something, you can kind of figure out another way to achieve the
absolutely.
same results.
Exactly. There are definitely different pathways we can take, as you said, to reach the end goal. So yeah, for
Wow,
sure.
that's awesome. Now, what would you say sets you apart from people who might do the same thing as you?
What sets me
Others.
apart?
Yes,
I have to say it's my personality. It's my personality. I
definitely a huge thing.
definitely huge. And I tell this to all my patients is when you find some, and it doesn't have to be me, and I actually do tell my patients, those who want to come to me as a new patient, if they're seeing someone else who is a naturopathic doctor or an acupuncturist, I always say, did you let them know you're coming to see me? Or are you seeing both of us? Or like, what is the plan here, right? Because I don't want to step on toes. Like,
Mhm.
you also don't want to be treating and giving The same thing with Western medicine, like prescribing things that, another doctor may have done already, so you want
Right.
to make sure that this patient is like, safety is number one, right? So I always encourage them, like, hey, if you want to see me, like, make sure you let your other doctor know. Don't just leave them hanging, like one day my patient just left. And so I really love open communication. I love talking to my patients. I'm very talkative in the office. And being able to find someone who you're comfortable with, who you can be honest with, is really going to help you with reaching that end goal. And if you can't find someone that you trust or can be honest with, or, even if something like, I've had patients who are afraid to say, talk to their primary care doctor, and they're like, I don't want to tell them I'm seeing you, And I'm like, you don't have to, but like, open communication is important. Like, just let them know I'm seeing a naturopathic doctor or I'm seeing an acupuncturist. Ultimately, what you're going through should be the priority for the doctor, not what the doctor cares or think about, like whether that's woo-woo medicine or not, because a
Right.
lot of, honestly, a lot of Western doctors, especially in North Carolina, still think like Chinese medicine or naturopathic medicine is woo-woo medicine, and it's not at all, It's
Right.
definitely not. So, being able to talk to my patients and laugh with them, and have open communication, be honest one another, like, I think that really sets me apart.
100%. Yes. I think that does for anyone with a business. It's just being a human being in general, right? We
Yeah,
tend to be more I guess the ability to be more open and the ability is just to have a relationship with someone in a more natural and a more like positive way is really gonna turn out much more for everyone. And I can see where that would help you out too, because then in that sense you don't have to worry about their mental capacity of I'm trying to keep this secret away from somebody.
exactly, exactly, exactly. So yeah, I mean, talking is so therapeutic. For the longest time, I thought like counseling is like, I mean, there's a big stigma out there, with counseling. And like, only when I went through counseling myself did I realize, like, whoa, like this really helps, And so,
Right.
like, I really like to instill that in my patients, in that if you have something that's brewing or something that's coming up, like, let's talk about it, don't hide it, don't be afraid, because, the more you kind of shove something down, you're not really dealing with it at that point. At some point, this bottle will pop and everything's going to come out.
Right.
Yeah.
100%. Okay, so we are at about a minute 30 now. So I got about a minute 30 left. Tell us how someone can reach you if they want to reach out to you just for maybe consultations or for
Yeah.
your services or anything of that.
Yeah, absolutely. The best way to reach me is through email. So, health services at catawbanaturalhealing.com. That is the best way to reach me. I check my email 100 times a day. So that is the best way. I don't call, because if you call, if I'm here with a patient, I can't take your call. And I don't, my office hours are random. And so I'm not sitting here waiting to answer a phone. So email is the best way to reach me.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I'll have all your information up on the podcast and then when it's ready to go. So before the time runs out, I just want to thank you so much for being here and sharing your story with us and about who you are and what you do. And now that everybody knows about what you do in Hickory and the area, I hope that everyone will be able to now reach out to you on a more holistic, natural way of treating their whatever it is, maybe. They'll come find out.
Yes. Thank you so much, Joshua. You have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Take care, Amy.
Take
Dr.
care.
Amy Lower.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.
This podcast is sponsored by Marketing Executions, a digital marketing agency for local businesses. You can find out more at www.marketingexecutions.com. Now, before I let you go, I just want to thank you to all my listeners, to all my guests, future and past, for being here on our channel. Thank you so much. My name is Josh, and this is my podcast. Now, if you love what I'm doing, for the cost of a cup of coffee per month, your support will help me continue on this mission to connect with Hmong entrepreneurs all over. Now, it also helped me to maintain this channel, the software, and equipment that's needed to make this the best possible experience for you who are my listeners. Now, your support can be canceled at any time. Thank you so much for your support and being a listener, and I hope that you will join me on my next episode. Take care for now. Again, my name is Josh. This is the heartbeat of Hmong entrepreneurs.